there are times that they were fantastic, but there were times that they were hard. So we decided, so we are a joint venture in North America, 50-50, Fyffes, Europe and Univan in Colombia. And Fyffes had started a process with Maersk, I think 2012, if I'm not wrong. So we decided in 2015 to start exploring that. So there was a process that was probably long, and Thomas was part of it. And in hindsight, it is like a marriage. You know, when you're getting married, you have a lot of expectations. Then you see that she doesn't dance that well, but then you learn to take the good things and the bad things in the relationships. And in the marriage, it happens. So there are good times, and they are bad, but this is when you know who you have next to you. And in hindsight, we are in the 9th year in the relationship, and thank God we are in this relationship. We are not doing our own vessels. Even though we have the capacity to do it, when you put everything in the balance, it has been a great, great relationship because of good communication, good partnership, and good trust. Can I cry now?
That was a nice...
Can I cry? I almost cried.
Will prices go up now in the partnership? And from your perspective, can maybe take us back to the beginning, because this is not a typical Maersk thing to do either, right?
No, and it all is gonna sound very cheesy, but it always starts with the customers, right? It's always the customer's choice what you want to do. And I always like to say that we can price daily, we can price monthly, we can price a yearly deal, we can price a 5-year deal. And it is this thing that I would say there are 3 basic things that have to happen for this to be true. To say, first is the customer, are you prepared as a customer to make the leap and then deal with the consequence of the leap that you're going, right? Between avoiding the temptation of the short-term market versus the long-term market and everything. So one is, do you have the right culture? Do you have the right incentives as a customer to do so? Do you have the right business model to do so? Then the second part is, it has to make economical sense, right? To say we need to find the right model. Is it a model that is an index? Is it a model that is fixed price? It is a model that you also have going forward with your own customers, your own partners. We do have here the guys from Philadelphia as well. They were a key part for us to make this work. Also, JK Fresh, to say, do we have an overall thing that it makes sense to all the parties? Because if one part breaks, it also does not work, right? And the third part, we need to be okay on, we won't be able to capture everything on our contract, right? And the ability to sit and talk when we find things that, okay, I did not plan for this, or there is actually like the Middle East situation now, what do we do? And there has been times where we say, hey, this is not working for me anymore. Like in a marriage, we have to go and sit and discuss this because something has to change, right? So it has been great for us, and we also had the same objectives, right, at the very beginning, right? We were launching Zealand as a Maersk, and Juan, he had the desire to grow, right? So I always found that the beginning, it was right for both, and then we try to make sure that, you know, it continues like that with the same objectives going forward, right? Yeah.
And maybe so back to the beginning, so you had a culture, you had your own ships, and you were probably selling fruit where the ships went. And so your heat map would be more concentrated because you're discharging a certain place, you're sourcing. How does that look now today? Is that the same if you just replicate in a container, or are you actually now sort of nationwide in a different way?
So at the beginning, you try to replicate what you know, yeah. and that's probably a mistake. We have some vision of how it will be, but the reality is that, you know, as Thiago was saying, you need to understand how is your business and try to make sure that the logistics support your business and you grow the expectations to hit X number in 5 years. I failed. And I'm glad that we are actually went over that number. So logistics is this kind of the business that I think is very ungrateful. because if things work well, it's your job, but if it doesn't, it's your fault. And the customers, they don't care about, you say, hey, sorry, my vessel had a breakdown, or I didn't have containers, something like that. They just want surety of supply, and you need to make sure they're going to serve them. So, in hindsight, as you asked me, we gain a lot of things. We gain a lot of flexibility, because sometimes I'm loading in Colombia X amount, then Costa Rica, then Guatemala. My sourcing used to be 90% Colombia, 10% Costa Rica. Today I'm Colombia, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Ecuador, Mexico. So our business has evolved a lot with the flexibilities. Of course, you have other constraints. Before I used to handle my vessel, I used to define my priorities. Not anymore, but then we have, there are trade-offs. So if you ask me, the big change or the big advantage is having somebody who can take care of the business better than ourselves, because we are professional. We can dedicate our time to our customers and to serve them properly, and having flexibility, because we are in products and things happen, change in a minute, every day. So COVID was a clear example of that, how things change.